don't overuse the football and exert too much energy. Just go long kicks, middle of the ground, and give your small players first opportunity.
Round 10 underway. Richmond still searching for their first win in 2010. Martin the first to it. But standing in the way for him, and with that slippery ball, is Travis Boak. Superb last week. 3 goals.
Josh Carr back into the team. He loved these conditions.
Oh, he'll just be in there and at him and just annoying the Tigers.
He will.
There's Martin again, but he's trying to get free. He did get hands to the ball and got it out wide. Taken there by White, throwing it forward. There's a loose man back for Port Adelaide. Had to work hard, and that was Stewart. Robin Nahas didn't have the footy. And there's the first free kick of the afternoon. The ball's still pretty good. He should be able to bang this through.
Well, this is the time you want to have a set shot, when the ball is hard. Now, we talk about percentages. I'm not sure what Revolt's trying to do there, but that's not exactly what we talked about pre-game, about playing the
surely that was a set play.
Well, as it's turned out, Bill Nahas needs to kick this goal because we talk about a fast start. Port Adelaide, we mentioned last week they were poor early in the quarters. Nahas
the footy's gone.
Oh, flat footy.
They got a flat footy. A couple of times we've seen that this year.
How does that happen? They've got the whole pre-game to get them all ready to go. We're into the... What are we? How many minutes? 1 minute into the game, and we've had to change the footy.
Well, if that keeps up, we're going to need 120 Sharons.
Gee whiz. But this is a massive kick. I know it's only early in the game, but every goal you get today is going to be... They're going to be at a premium, the goals. That is flat. Someone kicked the guts out of it.
That was a set play from Revolt. He stood on it. But now Robin Nahas has a brand new footy to get the first score of the afternoon. 35 metres out, conditions are tough.
That's what we talk about. That's why how hard you know it's going to be to kick a goal today. And when you have a set shot from 30 metres, it barely makes a distance. And it's slewed straight off the side, unfortunately. Look at that kick in. That's not much better.
No, not a big crowd in this afternoon, as you'd expect, given what's taken place in Adelaide in the last hour. If you're driving down to Amy Stadium, you would have just turned around.
Gee.
But at the moment, not too bad. We've got a boundary throw in. There's the big throw in over the top. Again, it was Martin.
Long time since we've seen those sort of conditions, boys.
Here's Martin again. He started well, kicking inside the forward 50. Revolt going back for him. Ball spills past Graham. Again, White tapping it forward, and it's picked up by Tuck. He threw it on the boot. He gets it to the top of the square. Carlisle gets rid of Revolt now. It just stops in a puddle. And Carlisle is forced to kick, and it lands in and then rolls out.
Well, when it gets like that in any inside 50, there's a good tap on there by the Richmond player. But knock-on, surge on, just find space, because you're going to get weight of numbers over the ball, and he's going to get many ball up. So smart footy, just get it on as quick as you can.
Punch over the top, again Martin, and just trying to get it towards goal, tumbles it forward. Nason is there, but, well, almost reading it best was Stewart, and he's forced to rush it through. So 2 behinds to Richmond, their first 2 scores.
Because Brett Delidio has been a terrific player for the Richmond Footy Club this year, running off half-back. Kane Corns is actually trying to tag him, and then Brett Delidio is just running with Hitchcock at the moment, so it's a little bit of an interesting matchup to watch.
Well, it's good. It means they're outnumbering them at the moment. Port Adelaide, Richmond have got the extra player. They can probably use up the ground a bit more, with Corns playing that defensive role and basically in the back pocket.
And that leaves Dustin Martin free at the moment, so which is a good thing for Richmond.
Yeah, I think they'll change that pretty quickly, Smithy. I think I'd leave Delidio deep on Hitchcock if I was Port Adelaide, and try and use Corns elsewhere.
Now it spills over the back. Here's the first opportunity for the afternoon for Port Adelaide. Now Boat probably had time to stop and pick it up, but he decides to go off the ground. Going back first for the Tigers, Newman.
Did well.
Smart kick.
Yeah, kept it down low.
Didn't panic under the conditions, just got the ball, kept it simple, turned around, and that's his second kick there. And he's found 30 or 40 metres, and he was covered by about 4 or 5 Port players closing down on him. You see the 3 Port players just turn, smart little kick, then followed up his good work. So that's the type of smart player we're talking about that is warranted in these conditions.
See a lot of that kicking towards the boundary this afternoon, playing percentages. Graham the knot. Standing off the contest.
Good pace.
Was Matty White, and now he uses that pace to kick out wide in front of Nahas. Griffiths is out there lurking to come and help out. Nash over the top.
Did that well.
Griffiths got it forward. Now Corns is going to pressure Nahas, but he's got some pace off the outside of the right boot to the top of the square. Beautiful kick and good positioning by Riewoldt there.
Well, he kept his eyes on the ball there, Riewoldt. Adelaide Carlisle, he's a strong player by his size.
And no messing about from Riewoldt. First goal of the day.
Wow, that was a terrific build-up. White again involved. Got it out in front of Nahas. Well done, young Griffiths, I should say. And the kick from the outside of the foot. We're seeing that more and more. Well, all we saw was the end there, but what he'd done is he'd actually worked from behind Carlisle, took front position, Riewoldt, just had superior judgment, and I like the smart move. Get on your bike, let's get it on quickly. We saw the set shot from Nahas. It's not going to be easy to kick goals today, so a good start by the Tigers.
Talked about his game last week. Six goals on a losing side previously, and now he's 26 for the season, Jack Riewoldt.
And we saw before the #1 tackler inside 50 in the AFL, so it's fantastic, alongside the likes of Davenport and Leon Davis, those quick players. But he's a big bloke leading the way.
He's the only player out there today for the Tigers with double-score goal kicker. Everyone else is on singles.
I'll tell you what, the ball's been played in their half so far, so he's going to get some opportunities.
And they are kicking against the breeze, Richmond. Tambling was at the bottom, but picked up beautifully by Roden. Got away from Edwards, now kicks out wide, but it's all Richmond here. First to it, King. Gets some good communication from his captain in Newman.
Over the back here.
Told him he had time. Gee, Griffiths almost.
Well, he got a free there.
And we're starting to see a little bit of the conditions there. A little bit of mud just there. That's pretty rare here for this wonderful surface at Amy.
Look at this mark here, whether he was
definitely
against
stuff. Yeah, well, Chad Corns had no eyes on the football there, just direct on the opponent.
Again, the clearing kick only as far as a Richmond player. Kick from Newman over the top. Carr sliding in. Nason caught. Roden has it. Quick hands to Corns. Throws it on the boot. Tigers again in best position. This time more.
Well,
it's dangerous, this.
This is a risky kick.
Oh, that's dry weather footy from Moore, but Chaplin couldn't take it. Webley throws it on the boot. Again, it stops in the puddle.
Free kick to Casey, surely.
Didn't get it. Trengo. Picked up by Thomas. Got rid of one tackler. Corns. Back to Thomas. Not 15. You've got a feel for the players. Very hard to keep their feet and very hard to be really sure over the ball. Well done, Cassisi. Got it forward. Ebert went for the half volley. Missed it. Handball back to Newman, who's been busy early. He's under pressure. He heads for the boundary. It gets through a river of water and finds it.
I reckon, yeah, I was going to say, the crowd wanted the deliberate, which on a dry day you'd probably be pinged for that, but I think in these conditions, with balls going all over the place, I don't think there's any issue with that sort of kick from Chris Newman. 5-1 inside 50 count. Dustin Martin's already had 3 clearances, so he's been a very influential player really in this match.
Here's Newman. Well, Farmer went in mid-air with the boot. Cassisi can't get past the tackle. Plenty of Richmond players around the ball. That's Tamlin getting back. Newman again. Another one of those short kicks from him. Out in front of Cousins. Started on the bench. Did well, okay. Got hands to ball. Gave it over to Collins. And again, it stopped short. Stewart's going to use a bit of this breeze towards the forward 50. Oh, good mark. Good position by David Asprey.
Well, they're just positioning themselves very well for Richmond. They're just outnumbering their direct opponent, Port, at a lot of the contests, and they're just spreading. When the ball comes in, they're just spreading well, and they got numbers for support.
Gee, that ball held up there. Next chance we met. I might get down to Smithy. I reckon this breeze is picked up going Port Adelaide's end, going their way. So it's a nice start from the Tigers.
Thomas trying to soccer it back in with a cross. Again, Newman, he's just got those little chinky kicks at the moment, but he's not really finding a target. Cassisi's kicked forward. Chance of Broadbent just came off the bench a second ago. His first touch of the afternoon is out on the full.
Because just on the wind, it's very blustery, so it is definitely going down Port Adelaide's end, but it's getting stronger in certain patches and then dying down a little bit. But Richmond are just outplaying them at the moment.
8-point margin to the Tigers in what will be a low-scoring day. Corns back on it. Carlisle. Here's a chance now. West off, but the ball just carries on the breeze and gets out of bounds.
Well, it's a good result. I mean, they get an opportunity now to get their set up right here and try and create an opportunity.
Oh, look at those flags going, Jack.
Yep.
Gee, and that's going Port Adelaide's way, who are yet to score, and officially we've played nearly 10 minutes. So it's a good start, the Tigers. Port Adelaide need to get a bit happening from the stoppages here.
It could have been a free kick, but not paid to Tommy Logan.
He's paid it. You're going to see a lot of that with these conditions. The umpire's going to try and keep the ball alive.
Salopek winning it. Not sure what to do. Goes by hand out wide to Stewart. That's Paul Stewart. Both Stewarts playing today. And right to the square, an easy one for Moore to spoil over the line.
Well, we watched the under-18 champs beforehand, and before the rain came this morning, or just on this afternoon, South Australia under-18s kicked 7 goals into the breeze.
8.
So it was an 8 into the breeze.
Yeah.
So, but that problem then, we had a massive downpour, and we can see the result, which is what's on the ground. Puddles.
And there's a lot of that going, kicking off the ground. Corn's got a fault. He took on 2 tacklers. Interesting.
Well, you wouldn't think there'll be a lot of that sort of...
Well, the conditions, I mean, the umpire's going to give various benefit of doubt, but if you're still going to take the player on that occasion, well, the rule is you had prior opportunity and didn't get rid of it correctly.
Sliding back in again was Collins. Now over the top, King. He got up out of that contest. Threw it on the boot, didn't go far. Now it spills for Josh Carr. Through more puddles. Have a look at the surface water that they're playing with. The Stewart again, and the wind got hold of that one.
It's a game, you talk about a game of inches, that actually could be the right terminology today.
Yeah, we've had a couple of inches of rain.
You've seen blokes try to kick the ball just 20 metres and it's going 5.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hoof it as long as you can when you're under pressure today. Just bang it on long. Tactics nearly go out the window. It's about getting your nose over the ball. It's about doing the basics better than the opposition and probably hunting it a little bit harder. And at the moment, the Tigers are first at the contest.
High contact.
Kicking a barrel, Jack.
Oh, you got to go.
And a lot of players around the ball. Tuck.
Gee, they're just outnumbering them. Their attitude is fantastic here, Richmond, at the minute.
Oh, look at the take. And look at the player loose.
Oh, he didn't see him. Didn't
spot.
see him.
Now, he had the man on, but he's still in play. Nahas just trying to tap it back to Revolt. He's got his confidence up. He'll try anything at the moment. And that's gone out of bounds on the full across the front.
It's just an area game. It lets him down a little bit. He had a couple of options. Look, no problem in going for the goal in these conditions, but he probably could have upped around a little bit more. They've got to make that count because now Port Adelaide have got a free kick. Had to make a scoring opportunity for the Tigers.
Off the ground by Carr. Oh, took his time. Asprey.
He came off the interchange.
Yeah, didn't see him.
And he say, well, where's my free kick? He's not happy with the umpire. Let's have a look at this. This is where they made the blue. There's a player there. As Matty White had got to the goal square, he just did not use the vision there, unfortunately. Would have been a certain goal to the Tigers.
Walked him in the ruck. Richmond.
Liam, we look at the stats. When's the last time you've seen a game of football been going for over 13 minutes and a side hasn't taken a mark?
Yeah, I can't remember the last time, and that's Port Adelaide we talk about. The Tigers have managed to grab 5 marks.
But it's such as the conditions.
Oh, he did that well.
White.
Got a shot here.
He's from inside 50. Heads to the top of the square. In front went Griffiths. Oh, gee.
Just
Chad
okay.
Corns.
Well done, Richard Tambling. He's just set the example for his teammates. I think it was Richard Tambling. A couple of Richmond players just put their head over the ball. They knew that he was coming through, Chad Corns.
20 metres out from the Richmond goal. Tuck did well to get it out the back.
did
really well. Robert Nahas finishes off his work. Wonderful goal assist from Tuck.
Wow, that was terrific play. That's the second bit of play we've seen Tuck do at a stoppage where his big body was so strong. And there's Nahas. That's the finish, but the build-up to that passage of play, look at this. Yeah. Just forced it forward. And that's, as I say, Jack, that's just a big body. That's a strength, physical strength for Shane Tuck.
Well, 14 points to 0 and kicking into the wind. That is a good start for Richmond. They're on here.
Last time these two sides met at Amy. Robin Nahas was brilliant, kicked 5 goals in that very close game. He's got one, and he's set the other up so far.
Yeah, he's been very, very important. Those little players that want to tackle and put some defensive pressure on are going to be critical today.
King was caught. Roden.
He says this bloke's been good in Martin already.
Yeah, he gets at it. Tambling. Got to beat 3.
For the Tiger fans that missed the pre-game today, we did talk to the recruiting officer, Neville Stibbar from GWS. He assures us that they have not spoken at all to Dustin Martin. Nobody at GWS, so if you're sitting at home, I wouldn't be too concerned about Dustin Martin going anywhere just at the minute.
Jay Nash caught high by Cousins, wins the free kick, spreads it out wide. There's the first mark of the afternoon to Port Adelaide. Boak playing on, kicking inside forward 50. Will this be another mark? It is. Ebert should put their first score on the board.
Good clean passage of play by Port Adelaide from the free kick as we see Ben Cousins well, accidental, but these conditions, that's what's going to happen. But two quick long kicks in the forward line to the advantage of Ebert there. Kicked it to his advantage. Took a good chest mark. Now needs to finish off. Desperately need a goal here, Port.
You know, you don't really need to worry about this normally, but you're looking for a bit of dry ground for your purchase as you're about to kick the ball for your landing foot.
14 goals, 14 for the season. Makes no mistake, Port Adelaide on the board.
Much needed goal for Port Adelaide, and that's just an indication for them. If they look at that passage of play, 2 big long kicks into their forward line, just caught Richmond with I guess a bit of presence with that ball coming in just on the back foot, because they've set up real well, pushing numbers back. The 2 quick kicks in, takes a good mark here. As you can see, it's just man on man here. No other Richmond players filling into the hole. Gives your forwards best chance on that occasion. So get it out of the space. And those little players we spoke about for Port Adelaide going to play a pivotal role today for them.
First goal for Brett Ebert, and it's an 8-point margin now.
Well, all the way back to Jay Nash's attack on the ball. He just went in that little bit harder than Ben Cousins there and won the free kick, and that set up the goal.
As the sun breaks through for the first time today.
Gee, Jacko just looked at me as if I was having to go at Ben Cousins. I wasn't. Jacko, I know he's an old teammate.
Still looking after him.
But he slid in lower and harder on that occasion.
No, you're dead right about that.
Whatever you do, don't talk about Dean.
Oh, gee.
He's kicked it long, over the top. Corns had to stand and wait. Off the ground, it falls for Farmer. He drives it forward. Cousins. Nash with him again. Off the ground goes Surgeon, out of bounds.
Good Smithy down there on the boundary just to keep an eye on the interchanges today, because it's not like the normal interchange rotations, but they'll need to keep their players fresh.
And that's the thing, Piggers, that boys are changing boots, changing socks already, because it's very, very wet, obviously, down here. So they've got to try and keep each other fresh.
Roden and Cassisi are doing battle, but off the ground went Cochin to force it forward for Richmond. Martin did likewise, and he kicks a point.
Well, Martin was about 5 deep from that contest running into it, and he actually got first to the football, and that's through work rate. Obviously, he's a pacey player, but I've noticed something with Richmond is that long kick going into Rewalt, they're just turning their direct opponents, the half-forwards and the wingers, and getting to the front of the contest a lot quicker.
Asprey dived in. Ball came out. Picked up by Tucker.
Numbers here.
It's 2-on-1. Good chance for Polak. It looks pretty dry. It could be his first touch.
Gee, Matt Thomas had to make a better effort there.
Dean Brogan out before the game. The clearance count is 13-3 now. Tuck's had 4, Martin's had 4, and Brogan is actually out with back spasms.
Now Polak gives it off to the run of Newman. He doesn't like it. As soon as he hits it, he gets it straight out of bounds.
Disappointing there for Chris Newman, but they are coming into the breeze here. We've said that a couple of times, but Brogan will just miss the 1 week. Got the back spasms yesterday, so he's out of the team. But so you can see already what an influence he has on this team. I mean, 13-3 at the clearances on a wet day, critical.
It's going to win you the game. Those sort of stats will win the Tigers the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And Port Adelaide, they are a flirty team. Flighty team is the word I was looking for. What, flighty?
Did you say floaty?
I said flirty.
Flirty.
But flighty they are. They just don't know when you're going to catch them. And on days like this, it's all or nothing. You've got to put your head over it when it's your turn. You've got to initiate.
Well, Cassisi's there. There's no better example of that at Port Adelaide. Bit of a scuffle there, or some guys just want to come up with the footy, don't they?
Yeah, they do. There's Warren Treadray, who, well, he single-handedly won him the game in this corresponding match last year.
Yep,
I bet he feels a bit more comfortable there than being out in the middle.
Tuck again with another clearance. kicking wide, but Logan going back and marking for Port. Now, thought about the switch. Conditions don't really suit it. Takes the better percentage option in Boak. Driving it long.
Yeah,
Stewart at the back. Here's Hitchcock.
Empty forward line, though. So whoever's the quickest. Look at little Hitchcock go.
Hitchcock get back into it.
Farmer did well in the end because Hitchcock was pressuring. He gave it over to White. Measures the pass nicely. Collins can take it and go. Wider. Pollack got to it first, but here comes Corns. Now back towards Collins.
Oh, he's won the free. Should have won a free there.
Stewart paddles it forward. Kane Corns on hands and knees, fishing it out to Chaplin. Back by hand to Cassisi. Turns it around the corner, trying to get towards the 450. That's a mark. Well done, Farmer.
Used his body real well there.
Gee, I tell you. Like he marked it. I don't reckon it's a day to be doing that.
Chaplin, that's intelligent footy, just made sure it came down to Salopek, sends it forward again. Ball spilling at the back. Two Richmond defenders, first back, Newman at it. It's a half a shepherd from Moore. Got to be careful. It didn't go over the line.
Well,
they get the benefit of the doubt there. There you go.
Yeah, I know they're disappointed they didn't get a free, but you've got to shut your goal, really.
Yeah. Get up to the game.
I mean, that's 2 kicks to get it 50 metres in these conditions.
That's very true.
You now all of a sudden you're kicking the ball. It's going to only get to your forward 50 if you get a loose player. Because you're a 10-half back instead of deep in the back pocket. Rain
starting to come down again, as you can see, after a minute and a half of sunshine. Corns, it's Kane Corns. Here's Martin.
It's been good, Martin.
Yep. Got it off to Graham. Front. Kicked it forward. He made good position there, Edwards, but didn't take it. Conscience kicked to Revolt. He drops the mark. He spent it before he had it.
He's still done it.
He's the wrong side of the post.
That's the opportunity. I mean, you get a 50-metre out the other route, one into the ground. You get you inside 50. Work rate. They had numbers here. Just a little bit unlucky. He kept his feet. That was the most important thing. Alapati goes to ground. Just had to finish off. He's going to get opportunities. He's already had 3.
He'd be disappointed with that one because he had that mark. Here's Farmer.
It's hard to be critical of anyone for dropping a mark on a day like this when it's so wet. But he is such a good mark. That was a certain goal that they missed out on because he could have probably played on and kicked the goal. He got a lot more of the ball. They've had 70 touches to Port Adelaide's 49. Tucker's had 9 touches, as has Newman. And Josh Carr leading the way for Port Adelaide with 7.
Now, here's a spread from Surgeon. He gets the kick from Salopek, but look at the chase from Nahas. No one to kick to. Hits in hope, but gets plenty on the big bomb. And now it falls for Hitchcock. In the driving rain at Amy Stadium, Hitchcock around the corner. Into the post.
Had to be committed, had to go, because that ball was going to skid along.
How's that? That is going to hurt from McGuan.
Yeah. He had to go.
He's going to have to do a quick count here.
He's in a real bit of trouble.
His leg got...
He's still
against
down.
Let's hope he's okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't look too flash. Just on the actual game itself, as we have a look at McGuire there trying to get himself up. The 2 key areas in wet conditions, clearances and contested footy. Contested footy, 40 to Richmond, 24 Port Adelaide. Clearance count 12-4 and make that 13-4 in favour of the Tigers as well.
Getting in and under was Chaplin. McGuire is limping, but he's going to have to go.
He's gone again. He's in a world of pain.
Yeah, he's taken out 2 others with him.
He is in trouble, and the ball is going to come back to him pretty quickly. Salopek, right to the danger area.
They got trainers everywhere. They're going to stop this.
Yep.
Well done, Hayden Kennedy, because now it becomes a bit of a health hazard.
Well, Moore's in trouble. McGuire's up. There are Tigers down everywhere. Here's the first incident.
His shin got caught, and he's hit it flush with his knee there.
Let's have a look at this
one. And here's the second.
Oh, Ebert in real trouble there as well. He hasn't moved, Ebert. Jeez, got his leg all twisted up underneath there.
Calling for the stretcher for Brett.
Got a very heavy knock to his head as well. Got a whiplash type scenario. And, geez, so Lukey McGuire, he's coming off the ground as well for the Tigers, limping off. You got Ebert down there in the hands of the trainers. Hasn't really moved. Here's McGuire. The contest from McGuan, Jacko, was terrific, given he was in the hands of the trainers himself. He made a contest where it looked like Ebert was going to mark it, but unfortunately copped him high as well.
Yeah, he looks all right there, doesn't he?
Well, he looks all right from a head perspective, but they're going to put him on the stretcher, so doesn't look quite all there. But,
he's very groggy.
I think he's going to come off for a bit of a lie down.
Here's another look at it.
So he copped it with a shoulder, and it's just the way he landed. It was like...
No, it's that shoulder got him.
The shoulder
it's the forearm just collected him.
It's not unlike a boxer. You do a lot of boxing commentary, Matty, where you see a bloke get knocked out and they drop and their legs all stay splay.
They're all jelly.
Yeah.
There's nothing, you know, they're already out before you hit the canvas. Yeah.
But that's the sort of game that's going to dish up today. So maybe this will stop in play whilst their forward line's already rejigged anyway without Treadray, Gray, Davenport, all these players.
Now no Ebert.
Now no Ebert. The concern will be whether they can kick enough goals this afternoon. Probably only going to need about 8 or 10 to win.
I think he put a thumbs up there, boys.
Yeah, got him with the point of the shoulder there. And you might see him back on. We saw Jordan Lewis get one of the biggest hits I can remember for a long time. Came back on the ground. Not sure it was a smart move at the time in hindsight, but you can come back from a heavy knock.
You can, but I think you've touched on the bigger issue here. Port Adelaide's forward line, it's just being decimated with injuries.
Well, they got together there while this break's been on, and I reckon if I was Casisi, I'd be saying, boys, forget all the tricky stuff. They're just a bit more desperate than us at the moment. We've got to get there first.
Look at the track of the... we might get footage of it, but that's how heavy the weather is. Look at the waters. They might have to do a few more laps out of there as a super stopper.
That is not the super stopper.
We get Rowan Smith just to check on the tread of that golf buggy.
Looks like a little bit of downhill skiing, Piggers.
I'll tell you what, Port Adelaide need a big 4 minutes here. They're kicking with what we reckon is a 2 or 3 goal breeze.
At least.
At least. You can hear it in the effects, Mike. You can hear how strong the wind is. They'll be wanting Brett Ebert pretty quickly, hopefully, to get him back on the ground. He looks like he's aware of about what's going on around him, which is a bonus.
So Brett Ebert to go down in the rooms, and Rowan will be in close contact with the medical staff to see how he is.
He did put the thumbs up.
He's the only goal kicker so far for Port. And now the buggy goes across the ground, Jacko.
I'm not convinced that's a smart move.
Yeah.
I think you probably nearly have gone around with that buggy, couldn't you? He's leaving his tyre tracks all over the ground. It's like a big V out there at the moment.
Look at the water coming on me. Look at that water.
If you're looking at this game from satellite, you'll be thinking there's crop circles out.
Oh, no.
It's got a job for him at half-time.
It's been doing burnouts on Amy Stadium.
All right, a bit of voice from the crowd here. They want a goal from Port Adelaide. We've got 4.5 minutes to go in this first quarter. We reset. Graham the big punch. And another one from Cochin. Thomas out of the air. Hitchcock lurking.
That's all right. Nothing wrong with that.
Under pressure. Still some of the players don't understand the rules.
It's only been going 2 years. Quite entitled to do that.
Here's Brett Ebert going into the rooms.
Brett Ebert down there. It'll be interesting to see whether he gets off that straight away. But did put the thumbs up like he was okay. Big hit though, all the same.
And not far there for Edwards.
And Smithy, Luke McGuan, he limped off the ground. What's the status of Luke McGuan at the minute?
They're just actually checking out his knee, because when he slid into the goalpost, just might have wrenched his knee a little bit. They've checked the stability. He actually looks okay sitting down the boundary. He's done a couple of run-throughs, and hopefully he should be back on the minute, mate.
Broadbent couldn't take it, and Newman couldn't get free. Dangerous time here for the Richmond defence. Umpire giving it plenty of time to spill out the back. Hitchcock couldn't get boot to the ball. Pearce dragging out his team, his opponent in King. Casisi, as usual, working hard. A lot of time, and we've got a ball up.
There's Luke McGuan. Ready to come back on, you think, Jacko?
Yep.
Matty Hornsby there, the runner. Giving the message here, you can come back on, mate. We've got 3.5 minutes of this quarter to hold. Newman's had his 11th touch. He's been very good, the captain.
And again, first to it was a Tiger. Now a chance for Thomas. Cousins arrives. and forces it out.
Talk about playing the conditions. Richmond have had 57 kicks, 22 handballs. Port Adelaide 41 kicks, 16 handballs. That ratio of kick to handball will be heavily skewed in favour of kicks this afternoon. They're just trying to make some ground.
Trengove won that knock. Broadbent the clearance. And again, just a little bit of push from that wind to that side, isn't there?
So it could have been such an impressive quarter by Richmond. Tuck's had a very good first quarter.
Well, they've had a couple of really
opportunities.
Opportunities at Revolt. You know, a 2-3 goal lead is worth 6 or 7 in the normal situation.
The one by Nahas in the first minute.
Yep.
It was a big miss.
Cochin kicked it forward. So too did Tambling, but pulls up in the breeze and then pulls up in a puddle. Logan trying to get it back towards Carlisle.
They got numbers here.
Forced it forward.
They forced it forward to Cousins. He has a runner in Revolt.
Oh.
Now he's got to try and find a target. He uses the left boot to go across the ground.
Trying to be too unselfish.
Here's the young man in Griffiths. First game, that's going to be a hard one for Farmer. He is just wrapped up quickly there by Salter. Now to Chaplin in 2 minds.
Good defensive work there by Richmond. Just corralled Chaplin into the corner, and now they've got a chance to get the ball out of here.
Martin was there, came Corns, throwing it on the boot. It's touched.
Gee, that's a good take.
That's a very good take.
That was a
Wet
good
weather
take.
and beautiful effort to get it further afield to Griffiths. Good play by the Tigers. Cousins stands and delivers. Kicks it forward. Tamlin couldn't take it. Collins to help out. Surgeon lays the tackle. Richmond still pressing. 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. Edwards can't get free. Tamlin might win a free kick in and under.
This is a Revolt one just from a moment ago.
They're on here.
Chance for Revolt. Off the ground. Carlisle was there. Corns. That's Kane Corns getting the 1-2 from Thomas. Now, can he find a target? He can. That's Josh Carr.
Well, they had a couple of opportunities there, Richmond. They'll be probably ruining at quarter time when they look at the highlights. They should have probably got a goal out of that.
Carr's kick wasn't a good one.
There's another opportunity.
Driven forward by Collins, and it goes out of bounds.
The message has got to go out to Jake that he's trying to soccer the ball off a few times or be cute with it. Just pick it up, and because he puts himself in a position, he may win himself a free kick, holds the ball in. He's a clever player, moves very well laterally, so use those attributes in these conditions.
Tamlin came through.
Free kick.
For a free kick.
He's played it, but that's the thing. He put himself in a position. We'd like to see the replay now when he comes through. I think this is a famous touch. No, there's nothing in that.
Terrible free kick, I thought.
There's nothing in that.
Yeah, he's going to kick in probably one of the soggiest parts of the ground, that corridor in front of the goal.
All his teammates have wiped the ball for him now, Liam. So
Tambling to make the margin 13 points. Can he kick truly? Yes, he can. An important goal for the Tigers.
Well, Liam, I think it's an important goal psychologically. Okay, the free kick wasn't there, but once again, you look at the contest. He's in front. Numbers work rate.
Actually, the free kick wasn't there at the start.
No,
but actually
he's thrown his head back and he's fluffed the umpire.
But watch, his arm does slip down late.
Yeah, this now there you're talking.
Just there on the ground.
I think in these conditions, and
you're going to get a little bit of that. Yeah.
I totally agree, but I guess it was by the time he'd thrown his head back, we're going no free kick, but then it does slip down afterwards. Tambling the goal kicker. Richmond by 13 points. And we've got just over a minute remaining. 3 goals into the breeze is a wonderful effort by the Tigers, who are just first to the footy.
15-6 is the clearance count.
Advantage to
Over
Port.
Tigers.
Josh Carr kicking forward, waiting for it, Hitchcock. Here comes the bounce back.
Well, it was lucks of fortune there. Advantage was paid. Quick play on, and when we've seen both sides transfer the ball into their forward 50 with great pace, it's given their forwards best opportunity. And Cameron Hitchcock kept his eye on the ball. They thought it was going to go along to the goal square, but he kept it in flight and played in front of his man, took an easy chest mark.
Clever young player, and he's kicked 10 goals so far this season. 35 metres out. He answers in the best possible way.
Well, that was an important response, Liam. Greg.
Oh, it was. The clearance is all important. You say they've been dominated by the Tigers here. Now look at this. And the advantage paid. No one knew what was going on. Carr just banged it forward. And sometimes that's your best option. Just bang it on, get it on quickly, and just hope your forwards are in front. And Hitchcock, in difficult conditions, we keep talking about them, but you're kicking in a puddle. It's very difficult to do kick goals anywhere. And from 35, normally is an easy kick. It's a bit more difficult.
It didn't look difficult, but it was a good finish from 35 metres by Hitchcock.
A critical finish.
Yep. And the runner's gone out to Mitch Farmer just to tell him he just peeled off, thought the long kick was going to go to the goal square, and he left Hitchcock all alone in that forward 30.
Tuck affects another clearance.
Well, smashing them at the stoppages.
And Stewart happy to see it over the line.
Well, considering what they're playing on the surface-wise, it hasn't really belted rain or anything during the match, but the ground is very, very heavy. You can see the lights are on. It's been a pretty entertaining first quarter.
It's been a long quarter due to the stretcher.
Roden couldn't get it. Goes back a second time. Cochin over it. Tuck, as we've seen already, just gets it and handballs forward. And maybe they can make something of nothing here. Logan to help out Port Adelaide's defence. Wet conditions, slip sliding away, but a good start by the Tigers, kicking into the breeze. They lead Port Adelaide here at quarter time by 7 points.